for everybody. All of you that follow this channel, please be aware. You're going to see a video by Joyce Savage, and I really want you to remember something. This woman is an opportunist, and she's going to use this opportunity where she thinks that Robert might be coming home to now say that she's been with him for 10 years. This woman is a liar, she's a fraud, deranged in some form, in some way. And unfortunately, you're all going to hear it. It's going to be blasted everywhere because unfortunately we haven't been able to get out the truth just yet. I have been working on his attorney, his current attorney, Bo Brindley. There is some to come out very soon because it cannot be hidden for much longer what has been going on behind the scenes. But all I want you all to just be aware of is that Joycelyn Savage is an opportunist. And you can see how for all of these years and all of these months, this woman has not even shown her face to defend his image, his reputation against her family. But the second she smells or sniffs that he might be coming home, out she comes. And such a disgraceful, disgusting creature is she that she would do that. And I really want you all just to be aware when you see the video of Joycelyn Savage, please spread the word. Do not believe it. Do not fall for the trap. Do not fall for the gimmicks. This is what these opportunistic women do. They wait until he's, about to come home, and now she thinks he's going to be with her. And Bo Brindley has been made aware of everything that's been going on, and including the fact that she is not his girlfriend and she's never been his girlfriend. Unfortunately, we don't have a big enough audience on this page for you guys to know. And unfortunately, it's not been my priority to defend or come out with our story because, as you know, there have been some developments with Robert's health, and that's what is of concern for me. Now, Joycelyn Savage never showed her face to defend him, to say that her family are lying. The woman is a fraud. The woman is just wrought with just deceit, and I'm tired of it. Frankly, if anybody falls for this new gimmick, you've all got to get your heads checked, because I can't keep telling you, don't run after this woman, Joycelyn Savage, and her new video claiming she's been with Robert for 10 years. It's a lie. It's bollocks. She was working for him 10 years ago as an intern. That's all she's ever been. That's all she ever will be. And unfortunately, his new attorney, Bo Brindley, has had not much time to catch up, and that's what seems to have to happen. But unfortunately, he hasn't had that much time to catch up with what's been going on. I'm trying to catch him up on a lot of things, and meanwhile, here comes Joycelyn Savage sniffing that King might be coming home, and there she does. She posts a video, and that is just exactly why I can't stand these creatures, these stupid women, because they just care about themselves. Like, how many times has her family in the last number of years spoken ill of Robert and ill of his character? And where have you seen Joycelyn Savage? Nowhere to be found. But the second she sniffs that he's coming home, here she comes, thinking that she's going to get back into his life. It's not going to happen unless Robert has a mind condition, and something has happened to him in prison that's made him change his whole perspective on life. But from what I know of Robert, and the Robert that I love, he will not fall for this gimmick. And if he does, then of course I'll be back here and I'll be the first to tell you guys exactly what has happened. But I doubt it with all my heart. All I can say is don't you guys fall for it, because as much as she might come out here saying, I've been with Robert for 10 years, get a life, stupid woman. Literally, I'm sure some of you are just as livid as I am to hear that she's got this video out, because you've all known, you've all supported him far more than this woman has supported him in these years. And I don't care about the relationship. Forget about that. What about you coming out and saying that your family is a bunk of junkies? and a bunch of, scammers. What about you coming out and defending his reputation and saying that he never touched you, that he never went near you, that he never was interested in you? Why don't you come out and actually tell the truth instead of the video that she's made? Now, I can't tell you enough, like, just stand your ground when it comes to Joycelyn Savage. This is what these criminals do. They cannot help it. They're opportunists, and that's what they do. So all I want you guys to know is, I'm working very hard to catch up his current attorney, Bo Brindley, on what's been developed, in the last number of years with Robert and I. But I can't guarantee that he's going to listen and he's going to actually help us, because he's an attorney, and I can't tell you enough how much we've had a failure of service when it comes to his defense. I will say this. I've been very impressed with his current motion. He's put in a motion for Robert to have a new trial, and also for the disqualification of the Attorney General's office in New York City and Chicago, the ones that prosecuted him. So he wants them disqualified. He wants them removed from anything to do with the investigation, anything more to do with his cases. And I have to say that to me has been something that I never expected an attorney to do. But I will say this, even after I informed him that, of our relationship, he has been very, unfortunately, he's been going along the lines of Jennifer Bonjean, which is to continue down the same path until we clear it up. And that's unfortunate for me and for Robert, because we're catching up. We're working with attorneys that just, they say that they speak for him, they use his name, but you've got to remember they speak on his behalf. Robert has not had chance to have, time with his attorneys properly. He's been ill. He has been in very bad condition. And it's been so unfortunate. I've been laying low in prayer, in silence, in just a lot of prayer for him. Just going to mass, just lighting candles, just doing whatever I need to do to make sure that my heart and my head is correct, and I can support him in the purest way possible, which is not to come from an angle of I'm trying to lay my, kind of territory. I don't care about any of that. If anybody knows me, they know that I don't care about, my reputation. I don't care about, needing to, mark my territory with him just because Joycelyn Savage is sniffing back around, hoping that she can reappear after all these years and say that she's been with him for 10 years. Girl, please. At what point were you with him when we sent you home to Florida with Azrael Clary, when we both agreed to send you home? Were you with him for the year that you didn't see him? The year that you didn't see him before he was arrested? Were you with him when she wasn't even there when he was arrested. She has not been a part of this man's life. She's barely had access to him. The one thing that has worked in her favor is that we've had shoddy attorneys that didn't listen to Robert, that didn't listen to me, because we have been fighting for our relationship behind the scenes. And all I can say to you is, I know Robert won't give me up for the world. I know that there's nothing he won't do for me. But I also know that his attorneys have a very strong hand in this. And I can't fight attorneys that are determined to tell lies or determined to continue on with the same narrative. I can only fight so hard. Robert can only fight so hard. He is in a very weakened position at the moment. All he wants is to get home, as you can imagine. He just wants to get out of that prison cell. My focus has been just to give him medical advice, to give him advice on his health. That's what my focus has been on, in how he can somehow protect himself, somehow, even heal as much as he can from where he is, using my medical experience, my medical knowledge. And that's what I mean. I've been talking to or trying to get through to Bo Brindley about is that Robert and I need each other on so many different levels, and he needs me more than ever right now. Especially as he comes home, I plan to be by his side. I plan to be there to help him heal. But at the same time, like I said, if his attorneys continue down this path of claiming a relationship that never happened with Joycelyn Savage, there is only so much we can do. We have to wait for. We've got, also waiting on a pardon, as you all know, that's still in the works. So there is all of that, that we're waiting on and praying for and hoping that just happens any minute now. I really feel, my faith tells me that we'll get that pardon before we get, his bond, and he will get released, because that would be ideal, to have him free and be able to talk and not be under any duress. Because unfortunately, if he comes out on bond on the motions that Bo Brindley has put out, they have been powerful motions in terms of the prosecutors. But when it comes to his truth, it's missing a huge part of the story, which is that those emails that he's discussed, yes, they may have influenced RKelly, but I made it very clear. I spoke to RKelly probably 2 days before she flipped. And my conversation was pretty much one way. I literally wanted to say to her, I said to her that, she needs to stop misrepresenting herself to the public as Robert's girlfriend, that she knows very well she's never been his girlfriend, that we made a decision to send them home when we became a couple, and that I knew about that because I was the one who instigated it, but it was Robert who actually put it into play. And only somebody who is intimately connected would know that kind of information. And I knew other things, like when we secondly got them, cut off from him. And that was all intended. So all of this naivety and stupidity of these women, Joycelyn Savage and RKelly, they don't know we've got two grown people having a very adult relationship that has nothing to do with them. And unfortunately, this erotomania that has carried on for the last 6 years has got to stop. It's got to stop at some point. But, Bo Brindley, I made him aware very recently that I believe with all my heart that my call with Azrael was what flipped her off, because if you guys know, you guys have been around for some time, you know that RKelly even posted that she had felt no threat she didn't feel threatened by Joycelyn Savage. I'm not saying that she wasn't jealous, and I'm not saying she wasn't motivated by jealousy to turn on him, because there was this attitude, if I can't have him, no one else will. So I'm not saying the emails that she read didn't flip her, because I do believe they did. But then there is the other part, which is me having the conversation, because, there was a level of not being, I guess, threatened by Joycelyn Savage, because they were both in the same boat. When it's like, imagine you're working with somebody, you become best buddies with a girl or with a guy, and then you find out that, you both have a crush on the same person, but you both have no chance and nothing happens, and you both know that nothing's happened with each of you. So then you're competing for somebody, for a place that you never had. And so that's the position that RKelly and Joycelyn Savage are in. They both were in the same boat. They both know each other are lies and frauds, but they can't tell the truth to save their life, and they can't tell the truth to save his life. That's the problem, is that Joycelyn Savage is so selfish. She can't come online and say, he never touched me, I've never been with him. It's unfortunate that all of this happened. It was my fault. I shouldn't have said anything to my family. There is a video of Joycelyn Savage, I've blogged about it, where her family have got her in a room, and they're pushing her to make a false confession of a sexual relationship with Robert. And Joycelyn's giggling, and they're all kind of laughing, and it's all seems very lighthearted, but it's a trap. They were videoing the whole thing, and Joycelyn Savage ends up saying, "Okay, yeah, I was with him. I was with Robert and another woman called Angel or something like that." And yeah, we were in a menage, is what she didn't call it a menage, but she said, yeah, we were together, the three of us, in other words. And when her family kept pushing it, she eventually does confess to lying. And this is on video. I'm not making this up. Both women are absolute frauds. On this video, she confesses to making it up, and you can tell she clearly did it because they kept pushing her, saying, "I'm sure you had something to do with him. I'm sure you slept with him. I'm sure it happened." They kept pushing her and pushing her and pushing her until there was no return. And then she finally made this false confession. And then I think either her conscience pricked in, or she was scared she might lose her work, her job as an intern. And that's when she turned back and she said, "No, actually, I was just making it up." And this is all on video. I'm not making it up. This is what kicked off Surviving R. Kelly. This is what kicked off Robert being blackmailed and extorted. It had nothing to do with, yes, RKelly played a huge part in his criminal case, but Surviving R. Kelly would not have happened without the Savage family. The Savage family, the Savage father, was the one that got everyone together. And he coached some of them, and others he just manipulated into this conspiracy against Robert. And that is all because of Joycelyn Savage's false confession of a relationship. And the thing about it is, the Savage father used that as collateral to blackmail and extort Robert. And so it was all Joycelyn Savage's fault. She couldn't tell the truth. She eventually did tell the truth. And then what ended up happening is that, one of her family friends called her up. And the girl is so ignorant. She doesn't know how STDs are transferred. Clearly, some of these people have no education or have very little education. And I'm not somebody who puts down people who don't have much education. But if you don't have education, at least have some street smarts. And she didn't even know how an STD is contracted. So a family friend cornered her into this false confession of thinking that she might have an STD because she heard rumors that Robert had an STD, even though he doesn't. So she was saying, "Oh, I think I might have something." And, and it's all attention-seeking bull. It's all attention-seeking BS that these women kept doing around him, and so she's talking to this family friend saying, "I think I might have got something." And, and you all know this famous tape because that's all over the YouTube. You can look these tapes up, by the way. I'm not making things up. I have I have evidence to back up everything I say. So she says this to this family friend who records it. She also says that Robert, she makes out that Robert is manipulating her in some form into a false narrative, like that Robert was the one that manipulated her into backtracking, into telling the truth that there was never a relationship with her. There was never anything going on with her. Now, I've posted the video of Joycelyn Savage confessing and saying, "I lied to my family that me and you had something going on." Now, that is her confession, and that is where it stands. The woman is a liar. The woman is a fraud. And there's nothing more to it. And more than that, she's the one that instigated Surviving R. Kelly, because had she just told the truth to the media, had she just said that my family are the ones that are rubbish, my family are scammers, had she said my family are the ones getting people together to lie against Robert, we would not be here. We would not be here. Had she just told the truth, that is all she had to do, was tell the truth. She can't even tell the truth to this day. When he was sentenced, she couldn't tell the truth. She just cares more about people thinking that she's his girlfriend than she does about him being free from these charges. And this is what makes these people evil. So when you look at Joycelyn Savage, please see her for who she is. Do not fall for the beauty or the sweetness. I couldn't care less about things like that. And hopefully you don't care any at all about that, because like the Bible says, beauty is deceitful. Charm is deceitful. You know, people can have beauty and charm. And I'm not, you know, I would never call a woman ugly, but it's ugliness and evil that has led her to cover up the fact that he's never ever gone near her, and she's never ever had any relationship with him. And she won't ever say that to the media, and she won't say that to anybody else, because she just cares more about herself and, you know, people thinking that she had a relationship with him, you know. And that's where we're at with Joycelyn Savage. She just cares more about people thinking that she had a relationship with Robert. And now here she comes creeping back out of this hole that she's been hiding in, while all of us have been doing such hard work to get Robert's name cleared. And especially me, you know. And you come out just when you sniff that he might be coming out and coming home. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Like, honestly, I know these people were raised very badly with no morals, no values. They don't have God in their lives. They have no God to guide them. They have no God to give them guidance as to what's right and wrong. But let me just call it, it's just disgusting. When I couldn't even watch the whole video, to be honest with you. I was so disgusted by it. I was disgusted that such a woman could not even use that opportunity to say, I'm here to set the record straight. That my family were the ones that, you know, brought people together for surviving RKelly, that it was because of my lie to them and me giving them the false impression that something happened that led them to blackmail Robert and use it as collateral to say that he was keeping me as a sex slave. And I never came out then because I was a coward. That's what she should say. I never came out to defend Robert because I was a coward. I let people believe that he was sex trafficking us. I let people believe that he sex trafficked Azrael, even though I know he never touched Azrael Clary. I knew all of this, but I never said anything, and that's to my detriment because I fear my family. That's the honest response, but that's not what you're hearing, and that's not what we're getting, you know. And I just came on here to warn you all just to be careful, just to watch out, because we've fallen for these gimmicks. People have fallen for these gimmicks, not we. I should say people have fallen for these gimmicks because she appears in some hotel room or beautied up. I won't even appear on screen because I have had very little sleep. You know, my appearance has become second to probably, to everything that's happened to Robert. And so I couldn't care less about my appearance. So I'm not going to show you a fancy, beautiful room or hotel room and all glammed up saying, I have been with Robert for 10. You haven't been with Robert for 10 years. You were working for him as an intern, stupid girl. And I want people to understand that. And so this is why I don't show my face, because literally, if you saw me, I'm in sweats. I've got my hair pinned back. I just came back from the gym. I don't look, $1 million. And I can admit that very clearly because I've never hidden anything on this channel. But you're not going to catch me at this time when Robert is going through hell. It's a flip of a coin right now where he's in a horrible predicament. A horrible predicament. You're not going to catch me in a glamorous hotel making a beautiful video. You won't catch me. You'll catch me at church. You'll catch me in the chapel praying for him. That's where you'll catch me. So please, when you see this video, take it for what it is, which is just a bunch of rubbish. And, I'm sorry that you all have to even hear about her anymore. I hope that one day, God willing, that we can get our truth out and finally stop this finally stop these women coming out with their opportunistic ways. I have really consoled my partner Robert. I've really consoled him very strongly about him returning back to people that, or not returning back to them, but letting them back into his life, people that have been a disgrace to him, that have really criminalized him. And you don't know how much I've really, really hammered it home. I use every opportunity to guide him. I use every opportunity to console him, to lead him towards God, to remind him of God's promises. I use every opportunity to remind him of God's healing power, all of these things. And I hope that all of you use the opportunities you have, please, to pray for him. Your prayers are powerful, especially if you're a committed Christian, especially if you have a pure heart. I can't say much for the people that don't, because there are people that just want to pray for him when they can, but don't care about God every other day. And I don't believe that God listens to those prayers, because I think sin stops God from listening to you. And I think that if you're a sinful person, if you hold any evil in your heart towards anybody, I think that can hinder your prayer. So please, if you're going to pray for our Robert, please do it with a clear heart. Please don't go to God hoping that after all of your sinfulness and evil, that you can just ask God to heal Robert and bring him home, because your prayer isn't going to work as much as somebody who is committed to doing good and committed to God. So that's all I can say to you guys. Please do pray for us, though. And please remember me in your prayers if you can. I am fighting a very evil battle with people that just are opportunists left, right and center. And it's honestly, it's like catching cockroaches at this stage. It's like living in an infested home with cockroaches, and you can't seem to get them all, because they just keep popping up. And you all know what it feels like. It's debilitating. And so I'm going to forward actually this live to his current attorney, Bo Brindley, so that he has a copy of this, because I want him to hear it. I want him to hear the truth, and I want him to hear the raw truth. And every step of this way, I've even, to be honest, after the last motion that I heard, I didn't give him praise for it, because I wasn't satisfied that he'd done enough to make it clear that Robert's association with this other woman was an association and not a relationship. Yes, you can call it a relationship, because you have a relationship with your family, you have a relationship with your friends. Of course, it's a relationship, but it's misleading. Even in emotion, you can't be using the term relationship loosely. And if he knows now the truth, even if he doesn't have all the facts, he cannot be using the word relationship to associate Joyce Savage to Robert, because it is going to continue down the path that we've already come through, which is just this false association, false relationship. How many does he have to have before these attorneys stop? That's what I ask. How many when is it that we're going to get an attorney that's going to go, wow, Robert has an adult, amazing, beautiful, relationship with a woman he really loves, and she's 48, and she's on she is his equal. Why can't people celebrate that? Why are people having such a hard time with celebrating that and coming to terms with that? So that's my point, is why can't it be his defense? Why can't the truth be his defense? Why have I had to fight so hard just for the truth to come out? And I've suffered ill will from others towards me for telling the truth. And I've shared a little bit about my own detainment, and thank God that saga was over, but I was really scared for my life. And one day I'm going to tell you that story, but it was just something that I never expected to happen. And that was all because I told somebody that I was Robert's partner, and they told the wrong people. And, and they detained me for 7 weeks, and I was grilled, and I was humiliated, and I was shamed, and I was questioned. And I can't tell you what I've come through to get to this point. And I don't care at this point what my priority is getting him home and him being healthy and him surviving this. So please don't get me wrong in thinking that I'm here just to, talk about Joyce Savage. I don't care less about her in terms of like my security in myself. I'm 48 years old. She's much younger. She just doesn't have any idea. Like in my 20s, I had no idea that I was a stupid fool. And most of these women in their 20s don't know how stupid they are. And until it hits them in the face so hard. Thank God I'm 48, and thank God I have learned a lot through life that, the truth does eventually come out. And unfortunately, she's going to get the truth in her face very, very soon. And it's not going to come from me. It's going to have to come from Robert. So please pray for us. Please pray for me if you remember me in your prayers. And thank you for listening. And I hope that this helped clarify whatever has been going on. There are a lot of emotions going on. If you have a Pacer account, you can upload, you can actually access them. Otherwise, there are a few bloggers that RKelly supporters that have been reading them. I have not myself I have read them, but I won't read them out online because they're too emotional for me. I focus my energies on just and my spirit on just keeping my heart and my mind clear. And that means that I don't want to appear online talking about emotion as if I'm talking about somebody I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much all for listening, and I really pray that this is the end. And please pray for this pardon that we've been waiting for. Please, please, it would be just everything for us to get that right now. And that's really what we need more than anything. A new trial and bond and all of that. That is just a backup plan at this point, to be honest. What we really need is a pardon from Trump, and he should receive it. If everything goes to plan, it should be as we thought, as we hoped, and as we heard. So please pray for that. And thank you again all for listening to me go on. And I'm sorry I can't appear on camera. Like I said, I've just come from the gym. I'm disheveled. Generally most of the time I haven't got makeup on. I haven't appeared. I haven't done anything. I'm in sweats because that's my life. I live it quite private. When you do see me public, then you'll see me public. I've made lots of videos where I have shown my face. So if you want, to have a reference to that, you can go through my videos, especially my playlist, which is Lady Juliet. It's on the main page, and it just says under popular videos, you'll see a section for my videos. But yeah, I just want you guys to know that it's not my thing to, go find a beautiful hotel room and do a video at this time when I should be in church, or when I should be praying, or where I should be keeping my mind and my body and everything healthy. Thank God I'm with family at the moment. So that's really giving me a lot of joy. So thank you all, and good night, Princess Di. Good night, everybody, and good day for the others who might be in Australia, because it's a different time in Australia. And yeah, I'm going to stop the video here. But please look out for the motions. Please look out for the news. Please keep praying. And thank you all for all your love and support, even if it's just giving your good spirit towards me. Thank you. I appreciate it with all my heart.